My dear people of the southern Cameroons, fellow Amazonians, accept greetings from me today, Comrade John Ba Akuro. Today is November 11, 2021. On the occasion of my birthday today, I deliberately come up for us to share this very important message. And my people, I know that there's a lot going on, and we have all taken note of what is happening in Boya, where there've been multiple explosions. I say multiple because they've gone beyond two, so I can talk of multiple. I know as well that we are all aware of some of the maneuvers by the Republic du Cameroon as they continue to chase our brother and hero No Pity. I also know that we are all, sensitized to the effect that this era, this particular moment in our struggle has to be the time where intelligence prevails over shouting. For quite some years, I think about 2 or 3 years now, we have transformed our struggle into a bully pulpit. And this has not really augured very well for us. It is time for us to take the brains back to be at the fore, while our emotions only come secondary. We have to, my people of the Southern Cameroons, consider these aspects because at this particular moment, we need our brains to prevail, not just our emotions. So, this is a full package today, and so fasten your seatbelt and settle down to this very interesting moment of communication. But before we get to that, I'd like us to share this beautiful airs. I've come to like it, really. This beautiful airs from the grass field of the southern Cameroons ushers us into this full package of communication this day, November 11. My people, I want us to get into the weave of our discussions at once. It's true that the real package of today has to do with us introducing the reign of intelligence over emotions. But before I come to that, I like us to talk about this. We have all heard what is being said about the explosion of an IED at the University of Boya in Amphi 600, as I heard. And the first thing I should be glad about is that, we didn't hear about any casualties this far. But what I want to say is this is a pattern. In my previous communication, I pointed out on this platform that what we heard and saw in Boya with an IED attack on a taxi the first time where the driver was just wounded, and the second IED attack a second time where a taxi driver lost his life. And then I said that this is a pattern and that it was going to continue. And little wonder that less than 24 hours after I sounded this warning, because I had the information from military sources within La République du Cameroon that they are going to do this. My people, remember what I said, that number one, a lot of Mr. Paul Biya's talks are abandoning, especially those sent to the southern Cameroons. A good lot of them are running away. They can't stand the heat anymore. Their families are tired of receiving their children back home in bags, and so a good lot are deserting. This puts La République du Cameroon in a very difficult situation as far as our war of liberation is concerned. Number two, La République du Cameroon is facing enormous financial difficulties. I pointed that out here too. That for this reason, they are unable to execute a lot of the projects in that country. At least 95% of the public investment projects have been abandoned. If you have people who live in and work for La République du Cameroon, ask them the last time that an advancement, that's a salary increment that they call advancement, was processed on their salaries. It's frozen completely, which means no civil servant will witness any increase because there's a 2-year incremental process, which means every 2 years you're supposed to have what they call their advancement and you have some increment on your salaries. That has been frozen completely. Benefits like family allowance, frozen. Benefits like what they call infringement indemnité de suggestion. That's how I know, like when they appoint you and then they have to give you duty post allowance. That's what I was looking for. Frozen. Every other thing frozen. The government is barely managing to pay salaries. Even mission allowances today, for you to earn the mission allowance, you have to go through a tough process of bribery and corruption. In most cases, even with your clear intention to corrupt, say you have mission allowances to the tune of about 200,000 CFA, and you are trying to negotiate that 200,000 CFA, that's about close to $400. You're trying to get this money paid to you. Some go as far as being ready to forfeit 50%. That is 100,000 of the 200,000. Even then, they are still unable to find a treasurer who is ready to pay them that money because there is no money. So for that reason, La République du Cameroon has to start thinking of alternatives to continue to enslave the people of the southern Cameroon. So number one, money is the talks are deserting. Number two, no money. Number three, the morale is fading, really at an all-time low. The morale among the people of La République du Cameroon right now is at an all-time low. So for that reason, the government of La République du Cameroon needs a coalition. They need a coalition to be able to overcome the southern Cameroons. They have tried Nigeria. It has not worked. You have all heard how the Mr. Paul Biya's talks now even cross into Nigerian territory and loot Nigerian citizens in the name of looking for the voices in the bushes, in the name of looking for Amber boys. Yes, La République du Cameroon forces crossed into the state of Taraba, violated Nigerian territory, and looted the citizens, just like they have been doing on our people. This shows you the level of desperation. For that reason, they so badly need the world to accept that we are terrorists. They so badly need this narrative. That is why my sources informed me this kind of thing is going to multiply. I said it. And like I said, it had hardly gotten to 24 hours after I dished out this warning that it happened in the University of Buea. Look at the scenario. The Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon was at the University of Buea taking part at a peace conference. This means that the entire University of Buea was, flooded with La République du Cameroon military operatives. So they were seriously in control of the entire campus. How then would so-called Amber boys penetrate the campus, which is that guarded, to carry out the attack that they're talking about? We need to put on our thinking caps. I hear still, as I saw on CNN, that a certain group called Ghost, I don't know, they could be in existence, but I wonder if they actually have an idea of what they are talking about when I hear that they appear to have claimed responsibility. I said this before, that sometimes some of those groups simply play pranks with people in the diaspora and give them the impression that we are actually defending homeland, when they just receive money and use it for other purposes. And so when some of these kind of things happen, even that infamous, they have the audacity to go out and claim that they did these things. And I even say sometimes these are also pseudo forces that are in sync with La République du Cameroun with the same evil intention of giving France the argument they need to tell the world we are terrorists and there is need for a coalition led by France to intervene in the southern Cameroons officially, because they've been doing so unofficially. We should never forget that what is going on in the southern Cameroons, La République is fighting a proxy war of France. The real opponents we have before us is France. Never forget about this. Always remember what France did in Sekou Touré's Guinea. Don't forget. They practiced scorched earth policy. They dug up almost everything. They destroyed everything that they had pretended to construct in terms of development. I mean, dug up everything before leaving. That is exactly what they're struggling to do in the southern Cameroons. But of course, we all know that La République du Cameroun has brought us nothing for 60 years. And so whatever they are doing is simply destroying the disorder that they have created. And after we send them packing out of our land, we shall settle down and plan our development carefully and bring up a country where you sit in your house and the postmaster or an agent of the postal services comes and delivers your package in your house, your mails in your house, like it was before in the southern Cameroons of old. Not the kind of confusion that you have now in that country, where even with a GPS guiding you, you won't be able to find your location because houses aren't even numbered, streets are not planned, streets are not even named, nothing is happening. All you hear is Carrefour de Beaucoup de Bar. So my people, after what happened, to add insult on injury, I'm sure you've seen on social media already that Mr. Horace Ngomo, called himself Vice Chancellor of the University of Boya, is this night as I'm talking, not sleeping, mobilizing students of the University of Boya to get into the streets of Boya this morning of the 12th of November to protest against so-called amber excesses. Listen, if you're not aware, the price tag for participation is 2,000 CFA francs. That's a little under $5. That every single student that will accept to go onto the streets of Boya to demonstrate, to show anger, will be paid 2,000 CFA. That is the money they will be paid before they get onto the streets. And this makes me laugh. When baby Carol Louise was brutally ended by Ashim Vogo, nobody needed to pay anybody in Boya, even 1 white franc, to go onto the streets and protest and demonstrate. They did that spontaneously because they believed in what they were protesting against. But when you have to start bribing students to go out and demonstrate, I no longer call this one demonstration. Listen, I don't call it demonstration anymore. I call that a show. And it is only, in line with what has been planned. It is part of the plan that we will do this. When it happens, we will now pay students, because they know they will not go out themselves to demonstrate, because they know, the students know, the majority of the students know who did it. They know that that thing that happened there is the handiwork of Mr. Paul Biya Stokes. Of course, some of the students made clear that there were soldiers all over the campus, and around the specific place where it happened, soldiers had patrolled around there less than an hour before that incident. So no one is in doubt as to who did it. But because it's part of the plan, that after we do this, we'll mobilize students to come out and protest against amber, so that it will continue to further the thought that they have in their minds, that they need to get the world to say enough of amber. My people, no shaking. As I always say, no shaking. We have to continue sensitizing ourselves to all of this and building our resilience more and more. Because like I say, Crossing the finish line is usually very delicate. That is why to cross that finish line, you sprint. You doubt this as athletes. You sprint, which means by the time you're getting closer to the finish line, you have to redefine your strategy. You have to put in all your energy. This is not the stage where you continue in disparate ranks and things like that. No, this is not the stage where we promote some kind of wrangling or bickering or name calling or everything. No, at this stage, we have to be more determined than ever before. I want to get out of, that subject matter and Boya to move on to some very interesting uh, topic. Look, lately, we have observed a pattern with some of our heroes who are standing up in the communities against the oppressor to protect the civilians. But there's been a pattern. You look at Amigo. What happened to Amigo in Boyo County? He was at the funeral. That is how it was ended. Look at Trouble. Where was he? It's the same fashion. Look at Cross and Die. Where was he? It's the same fashion. Perhaps I haven't mixed up with Trouble somehow, but a good lot of them, there are some that I can't even name. They are at funerals, at public places. And La République du Cameroon is aware that these gentlemen, that they go out to have fun. They even go to bars, that they go to popular places. And so the new strategy by the talks of La République du Cameroon is to look like us and come to the places where we go. Is to look like them and go to the places where they go, to wait for them there, using their informants who are among us. Oh yes, that's what they do. A lot of these talks today, they wear our toro. They wear our Grassfield traditional attires. They dress in plain cloth and everything. They are at all the funerals. Make a talker for country talk. They attend all cry dies. All. They are there at all of the funerals. Now, you will never see them in uniform. No. Forget. If you are looking for them in uniform, you will never see them. You will never know that they are there. They wear, if there is what we call a uniform, or you call it a shwabi, for that particular funeral, all of them will be in that ashwabi. They will acquire it. They will wear them and they will be at that funeral to look for you. So, the first rule of thumb, avoid funeral locations henceforth. Avoid them like a plague. Don't go to funerals. Avoid them like a plague. And know, therefore, that everyone that you see at the funeral is not a family member, is not a sympathizer, is not a friend. No, the enemy has infiltrated all of these places. The next place where they'll be loitering around to wait for you, your homes, your family compounds. They know that once in a while you want to go home. You want to go to your family compound because you want to see your family members, your brothers and sisters, your parents. They are aware of this. And so don't make any error. Right in your neighborhood, they have infiltrators who are waiting and monitoring. As soon as you step your leg, they pass out the information. He's here. Before you know it, it's trouble. This is another place to avoid. Don't go back there. Once you have opted out, opt out. Don't go back there, because going back there, number one, you put your life in danger. Number two, you put the lives of your family members and close friends who come to see you in danger too. Don't go there. Don't. Avoid it. So avoid funerals, avoid bars, avoid popular places, unless if you are on duty, and avoid your family compounds. Don't go there. Avoid visiting any of your relatives. You not only put your life in danger, you put even their lives in danger. This is a rule of thumb. Take note. Avoid this. And then the third thing, my brethren, these videos that you send out are so wonderful. They are so awesome. But you can do these videos without showing your faces on them. If you must be visible, mask up. I say this why? Because when you are up on there, your face is out there and everything, and you're already known. The next thing they do, they start looking for your family members. They start looking for your close friends. They look for your Facebook profile. They look on your profile on every social media to identify those who interact with you. And they will start locating them one after the other until they will end up having among these people a sellout who will determine to get closeness to you just to betray you for 30 pieces of silver. You have to be careful. So by showing your face out there, you expose yourself, number one. Number two, you also expose your family members, because some would genuinely be put under pressure. Sometimes they'll even cut off the lives of your family members because they are unable to get at you, because they are angry at things that you are doing. They will come after you. Look at what happened to this innocent lady in Boya, simply because she had had a relationship in the past with no pity. That is the effect of doing these videos and presenting yourself out there. Avoid this like the plague. Avoid it. Stop it. If you must do these videos while masked up. Do that to protect yourself, to be alive. Do that to protect your family members, your friends, your loved ones, wherever they may be. It is very important and very essential. Do that. And I like to say this to all of us in the diaspora who request these videos. Please, we must learn to understand that by such actions, when we request some of those videos where we need these people's faces on them, we are impeding our liberation movement. We are causing serious harm to our liberation movement. I will actually pray that we sensitize ourselves to the point where we come to that understanding that whenever you request for or are circulating those videos with people's faces open, you should recognize you are playing against this movement. You should recognize that you are inadvertently becoming what they call enabler, that you are inadvertently becoming an adversary to this movement. We must all determine as a people to use our brains. Let's work together. Let's educate together. Let's sensitize together. Let's get our people to understand what we are in. We are in a liberation movement, not a revolution. Please, we're in a liberation movement. We are struggling here to liberate a country. I mean, to liberate a country, no regime change. So this is not any kind of easy task. It will never be a walk in the park. No, it will never be. This independence that was declared on October 1, 2017 is what we are upholding and defending. To get there, we must use our brains. This is very important, and I like each and every one of us to take note of this and stop asking people to put their faces out there to please you. No, we should really, really, really stop doing that. I'm going to come to the reign of intelligence pretty soon, but let me go a bit to the roots. Just allow me to laugh a bit. Perhaps let's even go back to our friends, the dancers, and take a brief musical interlude, and then come back to this other subject matter. Okay, so I saw this and it was really interesting. I overheard Mr. Tasong Paul. Mr. Tasong Paul, who is an assistant minister. I like to call it like that because if I say minister delegate, you think that is a very big position. He's an assistant minister because he's from Southern Cameroon, so of course he cannot be minister. He's an assistant minister at the Ministry of the Economy, Planning and Regional Development. Mr. Tazong Paul, for all his intelligence, for all his education, has just been assistant all his life. Yeah, definitely. Assistant all his life. And so he has the guts to come tell us, the people of the area he calls, according to their system, Northwest, or to the people of the grass field. Say no to insecurity if you want the ring road. Oh my goodness. I almost threw out, or almost threw up when I read this. That Tazong Paul, he is from Lebialem, and we know that some of the worst roads in the southern Cameroons are in Lebialem. I mean it. I mean some of the most undignifying roads in the entire southern Cameroons are in Lebialem. You can ask, find out from anyone who is from Wabani. Wabani is one of the local government areas in Lebialem County. Find out from anyone if there is a road linking Menzi, the capital of Lebialem County, to Wabani, to the Bamumbu area. Ask. You leave Menzi, you want to go to Wabani, you will travel and get right up to Chang. From Chang, you will get to the road going to Bafusam. You will travel from there as if you are going to Bamenda. You will get right to Matazem. Matazem, that's in Santa local government area. From there, on a lucky day where there were no rains, you will take left from Matazem and get towards Pinying. When you get to Pinying, you will cross into my own village, Ashong, at a place called Chobo in Ashong. It is from there that you start making your way to Wabani. True. A lot of the dignitaries from Bamumbu in Wabani who passed on, a good lot of them, the corpses don't succeed in getting to the village. You want to find out from all those that the famous Lekunze Timothy, the famous one, I even want to call him king of the mountain, of Mount Fako, of the mountain Boya. They could not get to their compound very easily with his corpse. Because at some point they have to carry on the heads, carry on stretchers, put in the to carry. No road. Mr. Tazong Paul, I want to ask you, is it because for all the 60 years the people of Wabani have been witnessing insecurity? That's why they don't have roads? I remember Mr. Paul Biya in Bamenda in 1990, telling the then government delegate, Jomia Pefok, that as soon as he returns to Yaoundé, he will personally supervise the tarring of the ring road. 1990. From 1990 to 2021, how many years are we? Come on, let's be getting serious here. That's over 2 decades. We're getting to 3 decades since 1990. When Mr. Pobia was to personally supervise the ring road, was there insecurity around all the time? Mr. Tasong Paul, was there insecurity? Come on. Prime Minister of La République du Cameroun, Chief Joseph John Gute, before his humiliation in Fumban, where he went to represent the head of state, where they didn't even allow him the opportunity to make the speech he had to make as the personal representative of the head of state, left Bamenda and said, as soon as I get to Yaoundé, work will immediately commence on the Babaju-Bamenda road. Is there something going on there? 2 days ago, people traveling in from Douala, Yaoundé, stayed in Matazam, stayed around on that road. They stopped somewhere for well over 3 hours. They couldn't move because of the nature of the road. That was a promise. By the time Chief Dr. John Gute Joseph promised, did he not know there was insecurity? How many years is it since that road got completely cut off? Mr. Tasson Paul, look at this picture. My people, just take a look at this picture. These are roads in Lebialem, where Mr. Tasson Paul hails from. These are the roads. And the roads have been like this from time immemorial. My people of the Southern Cameroons, just wait a minute. I'm not done. Because they were, a few days back, celebrating 39 years of Mr. Paul Biya, the man who has brought us all the misery, who has brought us all the moral decadence, the man who has brought untold economic hardship, the man who reduced the people of the Southern Cameroons to even third-rate citizens. I mean, a few days ago, they were celebrating 39 years of Mr. Paul Biya, and they celebrated him in Kupeng-Wanenguba County. That's a county that, for a long time now, gives Mr. Paul Biya 100%. There was never insecurity in that place, but just take a look here. This is a funeral procession going to Babubwok. Babubwok is in Bangem local government area. That's in Kupeng-Wanenguba County, but in Bangem local government area. Babubwok is, if you want to take the real distance, is not up to 10 kilometers away from Bangem Central. But just take a look at the ordeal of the people.
This is Babubwok Road. Going to Babubwok with the cops, it's not easy. I've seen something. Some rounds of the time. I've seen something. This is Southwest Region, Kupeng-Wanenguba Division, Bangem Subdivision, a village called Babubwok. This is a place that has been abandoned for a very long period of time. Only bikes can carry the cops, and people must be behind the bike. Right here. It is just the beginning. We are going to the mighty hill where they will reverse the cops on the bike. Not
My people, this is Babubwok in Kupeng-Wanenguba County. Babubwok in Kupeng-Wanenguba County. Bangem local government area. Look at the deceased person who is in that box has certainly died about 3 or 4 times again before he will eventually get to where they are taking him to for his final rest. And someone comes to tell us that we need to bring security in order to have a ring road. Minister Tazong Paul is from these areas. Lebialem, those things. Just look at that. This is why, my people, we are fighting to liberate our country. This is why, my people, we are fighting to send Paul Biya, his talks, La République du Cameroun, and France out of our territory. They represent everything that will never bring us development. They represent everything that is anti-Southern Cameroon, that is anti-Ambazonia. If you are not in this movement, if you are not strong in this movement, please come on board. Because this is a situation we must reverse. This is not the kind of Southern Cameroons that we will bequeath to our children and our children's children and generations of Southern Cameroons to come. No, this is not the country that we have to bequeath. The country our forebears took into this unfortunate union with La République du Cameroun was better than this. It was far better than this. Roads were maintained regularly. There was a regular calendar, a regular program for road maintenance. We were clean people with sanitary inspectors all over the place, making sure that the rules are respected and our environment is clean. Not the filth that we see everywhere today, brought onto us by our association with La République du Cameroun and by proxy, France. Don't listen to them. They are in need of liberation. You see Mr. Tazong Paul with all the huge suits he's wearing on him. Listen, if we do not liberate the Southern Cameroons, the day Mr. Tazong Paul answers the final call of nature, this is exactly how his remains will be carried to Lebialem, to Mworbin, where it comes from. This is how it will be carried on motorbikes, with people pushing like that and suffering in the mud. I mean the Tazong Paul, whom you see on that cover paper. This Tazong Paul, this one that you see, this one. You see him shining there like that. If we do not liberate the Southern Cameroons and liberate even him, that is how his remains will be treated. Does he know? Is he aware of this? The answer is blowing in the wind. Why they are treating our people poorly, why they are torturing our people left and right, because we rose up in the land of our birth to ask for better roads. That's all Mancho BBC was asking for in Bamenda. Listen, what has been happening to him for years is simply because he did that. Mancho BBC did not even block the roads. He simply mobilized the young people to join him in that crusade and to march onto the Bamenda City Council, which is very Anglo-Saxon, to ask the government delegate of the City Council to make sure that the roads are maintained. But what happened to him? He was court-martialed for a military tribunal and handed, was it 13 or 15 years of jail. But look at what is happening right now. This is happening in the Open Camp Division. The people came out en masse, blocked the roads, demanding electricity. Just watch. I've not heard that anything has happened to any of them. Not even a simple detention. Just watch. What is happening here is happening in the Open Camp Division in the west region of La République du Cameroun. But as you can see, nothing happened to any one of them. They block the roads because they say they go sometimes for weeks or even a month with no electricity. And so they want the government to resolve their problem of electricity. These actions have become very recurrent. We have seen them in Kekem. We have seen them in the south, where the office of a divisional officer was even reduced to ashes by the people. We have seen them everywhere in La République du Cameroon, but not a single individual is in detention. I mean, even just in detention. Can you try this in the southern Cameroons? In the land of our birth, you can't try this. Because if you do, they will arrest you or they will kidnap you and take you across to their country and detain you so they try you under their laws. If anyone ever read a book I read while I was in high school, the title of it was L'étranger. And the main character, his name was Mesord. He commits a crime and the judge finds him guilty, and in the sentencing, they say he will be killed in the public place au nom de la République Française. And this is in Algeria. In the name of the French Republic, that's in Nigeria. This is exactly what is happening to us in the southern Cameroons. Because you get up for your rights, you will be kidnapped and court-martialed in foreign courts, tried in a language that is foreign to you that you don't understand. This is why we have to keep this movement alive. This is why we all have to continue to rise up by day and by night to make sure this liberation movement continues to be strong, to make sure our level of resilience grows by the day, to make sure our determination quintuples every other day, because it is with holy anger that we'll be able to get La République du Cameroon out of our territory. This is the truth. Now that said, let me get to the main subject matter of this discussion. My people, I said this period in our struggle is a time where we must promote the reign of intelligence over emotions. The reign of intelligence over emotions. We have let our emotions to take the better one of us for some time in this movement, to the point where we have transformed our liberation movement into a bully pulpit, where when I don't agree with you, I build conspiracy theories about you. I will talk how you are this, you are connected to that, you are linked to this. I mean, it is the government of La République sponsoring you to this and that and all or not. Those things have not helped us. Where if we don't agree with you, we get onto social media, mobilize the social media army, insult you to the marrows. This attitude has had a net effect of chasing away the good grain of the southern Cameroons, of chasing away the intelligentsia of the southern Cameroons, people of noble character who can't stand this dirt. We have chased a lot of them to the peripheries, and they now sit there and they're watching helplessly how people who have no idea are taking us straight towards a rock. My people, listen. I'm going to ask a series of questions here. The first question I'll ask is, those people we call federalists, are they really federalists? Have you asked yourself this question before? Are they really federalists? Because my findings demonstrate that almost 99% of those you call federalists are more independentists than those who stand on the pulpit and sing every day, independence, 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 independence. By their actions and attitudes, they are taking us even closer to Boya than those who pretend to be for independence. Listen, mark my words very well. I'm not talking bluff here, because I know exactly what I'm talking about. A good lot of people in this movement don't know how we were able to manage 3 months of struggle without internet. We had no television channel then. We had no radio channel. But we were able to manage 3 months to keep our struggle firmly alive. We were able to take decisions for extension of ghost towns, sometimes making them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and There was nobody, no boys, no girls, or whatever, with anything to enforce. The people respected. Simply. Why? Because we had a serious and sound network of informants. Oh, yes. 98% of those informants are among those you call federalists today. They are among those you call today people for one Cameroon. They saved this movement. And they continue to do so by day and by night. Listen, my people. Those who carry the vuvuzela to chant on hilltops, oh, federalists, unionists, this and that, go to Cameroon. Go to Ambazonia. Be there for 1 hour and identify who you are. And let me know if you will still stand there. We must learn to appreciate our people who use all the means at their disposal to make this movement strong and make it stay alive. We must learn. This is the era of intelligence. Ask yourself, look at the results of the surveys. First, it was Christian Kadinatumi who came away with 69% of the people. That survey was exclusively on ground zero. 69% of the people in that survey. And I'm sure it was 69% because of the trick he even played that some might have fallen in by making sure he turned around questions that confuse people so they don't even see where they can pick up the option, where they could pick up the option of independence. That's perhaps how we ended with 69%. Where do you think you get this percentage of people from? Where do you think you get them from? The CDN survey rendered 86%. Where do you think you get these people from? And I'm assuring you, another veritable survey will give you about 98%. And that is why, on the French language channel last Sunday, on Sunday, November 7, also on Media to Afrique, and I'm going to come to that some other in one of my other broadcasts, I challenged the people of La République du Cameroun. Sit aside and watch a referendum conducted in the southern Cameroons. And I challenge that if we have less than 70% of the people voting for independence, we say we lost and we stay in one Cameroon. I mean, if we have less than 70%, I speak this with confidence because I know my people, because I know the hearts and minds of the people of the southern Cameroons. So this crap of he said federalist, he said this and that, he said this. Look, people bear identities for convenience. You want to know? I covered elections in several parts of the southern Cameroons, where in some villages you have a CPDM section president, a CPDM subsection president, a WCPDM section president, a YCPDM section president, and they put their polling stations in these areas. And trust me, my people, by the time they finish counting, even at the polling station, the chairman of the polling station is a CPDM official. The CPDM also has a polling official in there. At the end of the vote, you count all the votes and the CPDM has 0. You want to dispute this? Go to the field and find out. Go to the southern zone, find out. Go to, oh, I was even told it doesn't make sense using southern zone, northern zone anymore. Go to the southern Cameroons, in all our villages and cities, and find out. You will be told the stories. The statistics are there. Unless you forget, for La République du Cameroun, even when you say you are a federalist, you are a unionist, dress with the CPDM right down to your underwears. They would remove everything and right down to your underwears. The CPDM, they will tell you that you are opposition. They will tell you that you are Biafran. They will tell you that you are an Ambazonian. People hold some opinions for convenience. And in those positions, they are useful to our movement. We have to learn to forget about labels and focus our attention on attaining the objective we have before us. Those who are moles will always be identified as moles. I'm coming. Don't throw stones yet. I'm coming. Then the other one I asked, are they really unionists? I guess I've even already answered to that question, the first part. Now I want to get to this one. Are they truly for independence? Are they truly for us? Or they are really against us, but pretending to be with us? My people, listen to me. In our midst, we have people who sang independence morning, afternoon, evening. They were even the wildest people. When you mention federalism, they could remove the knives and cut your throat. Yeah. They sang independence morning, afternoon, evening. Where are they today? They were never for us, though they were in their midst, and there are many more of them in our midst. That is what La République du Cameroun does. La République du Cameroun knows them, and they do everything to let them even be the wildest among us, so that we trust them. And this gives them room to knife us deep in the back, because they are right with us there where we are planning. You have to doubt? Where is Ngu Santos? Where is Ngu Santos today? Ngu Santos was the Sako IG State House press secretary. He was sitting with Comrade Sako like this by his side morning, afternoon, evening. That is the man who was very virulent, braggadocious, very virulent. Permit the word braggadocious is a creation for the circumstance. Very virulent. Independence, independent. No, nothing short of independence. Where is he today? Oh, he collected 37 million CFA from La République du Cameroun and crossed carpet. Of course, that had always been the arrangement even before he came in. To use his virulence, to use his bragging, to use his loud shout for independence, to find his way right into the heart of the struggle in order to sink it. Where is Yannick Sikot? Again, this was another man who generally in California was the one who received Comrade Sako all the time. Where is he? Yannick Sikot is 100% La République du Cameroun today. He's 100% unionist today. He no longer pretends about it. Where is Sofoncha, who was a joint chief of staff or chairman of the Ambazonia Self-Defense Council? That means that was the next person after Comrade Sako. That was the man who was supposed to be in charge in the Sako IG. Where is Sofoncha today? I see him today fighting very hard to defend his own millions by moving on the screens here and there, talking, oh, us from the southwest, oh, us from the southwest. We have to make sure these people from the northwest, oh, they have really, no, we cannot let them. Come on, my people. This is the time of intelligence. Listen, they have many more people in our ranks. Is there anything wrong with us having people in their ranks? And you will not call yourself somebody who will die for independence and find your way into their ranks. You will not. You will not find anyone. If you don't call yourself, even federalists don't have a lot of access. The unionists have the access. They are there. The people who continue to provide us that intelligence that helps take this movement forward are the unionists. Those you call unionists, those you most call enablers, they are the ones. This is the reign of intelligence. Let's keep emotions aside and use our brains. It's not a matter of shouting, oh, I cannot talk to them, I cannot sit with them, I cannot meet with them. Come on, give me a break. Queen Esther was able to rescue Mordecai and her tribes' people in that land because she was in the palace. Haman could never imagine that Queen Esther, right in the heart of the palace, was the enemy he ought to have destroyed before. Haman could not know. That's why the gallows that Haman dug to destroy another person ended up swallowing him. Queen Esther was in the palace. In the palace. That is where it mattered to be. If the rest went calling her, oh, enabler, oh, this enemy, because she had accepted to marry King Xerxes, well, they have been. This is the era of intelligence. It's sad that I have to use but this platform to bring this notion into the minds of our people. These are things we're supposed to tell ourselves from ear to ear. But I'm forced to do this because we refuse to use our brains. Perhaps we'll have to get through this channel so it begins to sink in the minds of the people. I could tell you more because I was at the control tower of that information reception that rescued this struggle for a long time. We are closing all the channels, closing them against ourselves because we let emotions govern us, because we let conspiracy theories take the better one of us. My people of the Southern Cameroons, we have to set emotions aside and let our brains work for us. That is the role of the brain. The role of the head is not to carry load. The function of the head is not to carry load, it is to think and move us forward. I like emotions. Emotions propel us sometimes to action. But when you have to take a decision, it is not emotion that should lead you taking that decision. No. The brain. Have to wear our thinking caps. We have to stop this issue of transforming our struggle into a bully pulpit. If you don't agree with me, I'll get into an audio, I'll scatter you. Oh, this one, he does not even exist. He was, no, my people. That wouldn't take us to Boya. We need to get to Boya. Let's put on our thinking caps. We have to do everything possible to bring back to the fold, to the heart of this movement, the Southern Cameroon's intelligentsia. The Southern Cameroon has some of the most brilliant people in all of Africa. I mean, the most brilliant and the most educated in all of Africa. Where are they? We have chased all of them to the peripheries with insults, with attacks, with berating. No, we have to stop this. We need those brains together so that we can have coordination, planning, and cohesion. That is what will move us forward. I know some don't like to hear this. They will say, Mba Akuro, you again, you and that your consortium, what do you represent? Insult me all you want. But I have brought up to the table what we need to know and how we need to operate going forward. We must attain our objective at the time we have to attain it and make sure we minimize our losses. To God be the glory.